Whoops, had everything muted. What's up, guys? Welcome to some more footage, some more coverage of our Cal State Fullerton Solo Duo Trio Q tournament. Tonight we have Team 5. That we Team Manuel Jimenez. That was the team with the phone number for the team name. We made him change that real quick. Versus Team 7, which is Team Cash Money. I'm your host, Josh. With me, I have our club president, Atik. We're going to be duo casting this. What's up, dude?
Nothing much, man. Just got back from Korean barbecue, ready to cast these games. We see some quick bans coming out. Rengar, Hector, and Riven on the side of Team Manuel Jimenez and Team Cash Money, banning that Vi, Zac, and Jinx. I'm not too convinced about that Zac ban. We saw Rook on it in his first game of the tournament. He built Poacher's Knife. Um, I was not convinced by that performance. Not sure if a ban needed to be used there, but maybe they're just trying to ban him out, get him on a champion he does not prefer. We'll have to see how that works, how that strategy works out for Team Cash Money.
Yeah, and I think the Rengar ban comes from, I think they were looking at Feast's solo queue record. I was looking at Feast. I saw a decent amount of Rengar in his OP.GG as well, so I feel like that's probably what they're going for. Then again, Feast's, I forgot what he played. It wasn't Rengar in the game that we saw. However,
It was Nar.
it was Nar, that's right. And he just went absolutely crazy. He won like 8-1 and 7.
And
That
just as we say that, they pick it up. Wow.
Okay, this Nar's probably Nar was definitely a contested pick here, considering how good Janitor and Feast are on it. I mean, we're looking at Team Cash Money's previous game against Team Replace Allen. They absolutely steamrolled them. I mean, that game ended in 26 minutes with a 15k gold deficit for Team Replace Allen, and that ended in 17 and 2 a kill. So Team Cash Money definitely picking up power picks here.
Yeah,
Oh,
definitely a good idea to
yeah.
take that Nar away. But Team 7, with the quick lock-ins of Thresh and Sivir here, definitely looking for some engage.
Yeah, Line did really well on Thresh in the previous game. He didn't die at all. Actually, three people in that game didn't die at all. Thresh being one of them. So looking to stay on a comfort pick, I like it. However, Hydra and Rook both hovering over. This is a team, Team 5, Team Manuel Jimenez, that really likes team comps that synergize really well. Hydra has normally typically gone for champions with a harder engage. There we finally see Hydra picking up the Sona, the one that she's been really famous for. I think she drew like 3 bans in previous rounds of the tournament for it, but they finally let her have it.
Yeah, normally that's banned away from them. Sona, a very versatile champion. She brings a lot of poke to the lane, brings some healing as well, so a lot of sustain there. And most people just go ahead and ban it because it's so annoying to deal with in lane, and you don't see it very often. So it's one of those picks that a lot of people have forgotten how to deal with. So it's a very good idea to usually ban it away. But once again, I'm not too convinced about these bans coming out from Team Cash Money, but and they did give away the Sona. We'll just have to see how that plays out for them.
Okay, it looks like Team Cash Money is really picking up all of their comfort picks. Phantom of Dust hovering the Gragas there. He did really well on Gragas in their previous match. Wouldn't be surprised to see them pick it up here. Especially with the recent, with considering how popular Righteous Glory is, having Thresh and Gragas build one, in addition to Sivir's on the hunt, they can just have so much. They can catch you out of position really quickly. And Feast picking up the Fizz top lane. Interesting.
I'm not sure if that will be a Fizz top. We'll have to go ahead and see. Feast last season had a lot of games on Fizz. But if it is in the top lane, it'll probably be an AD Fizz. I'm not sure if that's too good of a pick. I'm also not sold on the Gragas pick. I would have preferred to see a Sejuani here with the Sivir. That's a very strong combo there. But it will be a Gragas and it will be a Fizz. I would have much preferred to see maybe something like a Sejuani along with a Riven or something like that from Feast as a carry top laner. I'm not too sold on this Fizz pickup.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes though. I have a feeling that Feast, if he does take this into the top lane, he's gonna do really well considering how dominant of a performance he showed. But this is definitely probably gonna be a really interesting top lane because we're used to Janitor just snowballing out of control on any champion that he's on, whether he's on Gnar, his trademark Olaf, the Aurelia that he picked up. But it
Yeah,
looks
actually, I'm gonna go ahead and eat my words. I think Fizz is a pretty strong counter pick to Gnar. Usually Gnar's advantage is he can poke from range, but Fizz, he negates that almost entirely. He has two gap closers to get on top of Gnar when he's in mini Gnar, and when he's in mini Gnar, Fizz will demolish a Gnar in a 1v1 scenario if it is an AD Fizz. If it's an AP Fizz, it takes a little bit longer to scale up. Actually, I'm just gonna stop talking because this might be a Fizz mid after all. and it may be a Vlad top. But Vlad is a flex pick and can go in the mid or the top lane, so we'll have to see where that goes. But one thing we didn't talk about from Team 5 is the Vayne and Lissandra lock in. Chocolate Sunday, we've seen him on MF for most of this tournament. Um, have not seen him play Vayne at all. So we'll have to see if this is something that they've been practicing or actually I've never seen him on this. I'm not sure if this is a champion that he's been practicing or what's going on here. But Lissandra lock in, very standard pickup. Adds a lot to their composition, brings the crowd control. Lissandra just a very good overall pick into the comp that they're running right now. They have a lot of lockdown between Sona and Lissandra and the Jarvan and then the Nard to follow it up. So a really good amount of CC on team Manuel Jimenez. But the last pick, Morgana, coming in for Team CashMoni, negates a little bit of what Lissandra does. But Lissandra has a lot of AoE, and Morgana is really for those single target CCs, and they don't really have any of that on Team Manuel Jimenez. So, but it will be a Morgana mid. So maybe they're catering their composition to the Sivir here. They're running two supportish style champions with the Thresh and the Morgana. Yeah, interesting compositions coming out from both teams.
Yeah, Battle Money did really well on the Morgana previous game, so it looks like they're just trying to pick up comfort picks. 3 out of the 5 champions that they picked, they played in the last game that they won. But looking at Chocolate Sunday, I went ahead and looked up Chocolate Sunday's solo queue record. I don't see Vayne in the top 10 for Season 5 or Season 4, so I think it's really, really odd that they decide to go with the Vayne. It's not like they have much of a tank line to get through anyway. Sure, Gragas gets tanky, but that's pretty much the only person you have to worry about in the mid game. Thresh can get tanky like really, really late in the game, but it's really odd considering that they've always picked these strong team fighting comps, and everybody but Vayne really fits that. But maybe they're so. I'm really confused. Maybe they're really confident in their positioning, knowing that they're going to be able to protect their Vayne, but at the same time, we saw them do really well when Chocolate Sunday played somebody like MF. And while MF isn't the best scaling champion in the game, the way that they were able to win those early to mid game skirmishes really put them ahead. So it's really odd seeing them step away from that real team fight bursty style, because with Vayne, you generally benefit from more extended team fights.
Well, they still have that team fight style. They have the Gnar, they have the Jarvan, they have the Sona, and they have the Lissandra. So the team fight's there. But Vayne is just not the AD carry I would pick with the team fight that's brought by the 4 champions surrounding him this game. I would definitely have preferred to see a Miss Fortune pick. She brings the AoE damage that is really needed when you have these AoE compositions. You need an AoE damage AD carry, something like Jinx, something like MF, something that can hit multiple targets and can bring the damage. But Vayne is a single target damage champion, and with an AoE crowd control team, Vayne he can still do well, obviously, because Vayne just puts out a lot of damage. But like you said, on Team CashMoni, we only have one tank in Gragas. The other 4 champions aren't really tanky, and Vayne he fits into compositions where there's a lot of tanks on the enemy team, because Vayne is kind of known as a tank killer, but Team CashMoni doesn't have any of that, and they picked Vayne as their 4th pick in the draft. They had seen 4 of the prior picks on Team CashMoni, and then they decided to go with the Vayne after they saw that only Gragas was there for the tank line. So I'm really just not sold with this Vayne pick.
Yeah, I'm like racking my brain trying to figure out exactly why that they would opt for Vayne over anybody else. Maybe they were really concerned about the Thresh pick and the Morgana pick, the Fizz pick, then they wanted a more mobile AD carry, but I don't know why they wouldn't offer somebody like Graves or Lucian. Looking at Chocolate Sunday's play history, I don't see any Graves or Lucian, but then again, I don't see any Vayne either. So maybe that's the only thing I can really think of, considering that Gragas, Thresh, Morgana have ways of locking down the AD carry, so maybe they wanted somebody mobile, somebody with self-peel, because Vayne does have the Condemn to get people away from her. So that's the only thing I can think of. I guess we'll have to just go into game and see exactly what they were planning. But yeah, it is really interesting, really odd. But then again, we've seen a lot of odd things in this tournament. I mean, we've seen a Zach with Poacher's Knife win, so so I'm gonna hold my words until we'll just wait and see what happens.
Yeah, definitely some very interesting things have been seen in this tournament. Um, so who do you think is gonna win?
It's really tough to say because a lot of times I feel like I express a bias towards Team 5, Team Manuel Jimenez, because their team fighting has always been really, really good. And we saw it for all of you who are at our club meeting today, we got to watch them win a game that was almost mathematically unwinnable, except the other team managed to throw like 17 fights in a row, so that's the only reason that they won. But at the same time, Team Cash Money played really, really well against a team that everybody perceived to be relatively strong. They just absolutely steamrolled them. So both teams looking really, really strong. I feel like I'm leaning towards Team Cash Money though with their team I don't know how the Veins gonna work into this, so I'm gonna give it to Team Cash Money.
All right. For Team Five, like you said, in their last game, they relied on a lot of throws to come back in the game, but I don't really think they were throws. A lot of the times that they created the team fights that allowed them to win, they created the picks, they played the vision game, they denied the vision, they waited in brushes, and they got the picks they really needed. Some of it you can attribute it to throwing, but some of it I also attribute to Team Five's really nice team play that they have going on. A lot of these people. Or a lot of these members they were on the same team last tournament. Janitor Kid, Lernay and Hydra, and Chocolate Sunday all on the same team last tournament. Once again, together in this tournament. Last time they took first place. This time they've been the underdog in a couple matches, but they've come out on top. But even though that's the case, I'm also going to have to give this match to Team Cash Money. I think they've brought the composition that they need to win this game. But let's talk about both teams before we head on to the Rift. On the blue side, we have Team Manuel Jimenez with Janitor Kid on Dino Gnar, Rook on Jarvan, Hydra on Silent Night Sona, playing support Chocolate Sunday on Bane as AD carry, and Ticker 360 on Lissandra in the mid lane.
And for Team Cash Money on your red side in the top lane, we're gonna have Feast playing Fizz. In the jungle, we have Phantom of Dusk on Gragas. In the mid lane, Battle Money on Morgana once again. And the bot lane duo, Monkey and WTF, it's a Lion on Sivir and Thresh. So getting our game started, Manuel Jimenez, Team Cash Money in round 2 or 3 of the winner's bracket, I believe.
We are now in the quarterfinals. There are only 4 teams left in the winner's bracket. It is round 3 to be exact.
So a decent amount of pressure on both of these teams. Let's take a look at exactly how they want to start off. Looks like Team Cash Money trying to stage for maybe a 5-man invade. They do have a really strong invade considering that they have 3 forms of lockdown level 1 if they choose to take Hook on Thresh.
Yeah, Morgana and Thresh with very strong level 1 crowd control abilities for those invades. We'll have to see what they do with this. But an interesting thing to note here is Morgana started with the Doran's Ring, and then she has Biscuits, but she took a Mana Pot anyways, which is something you don't see very often. I'll definitely have to go ahead and disagree with that. I would have preferred to see 2 Biscuits. It's always nice to see 2 Potions, since Biscuits do give mana back as well. I think that's a little bit inefficient on Morgana's part, on Moni's part. But Morgana does have Spell Vamp on her passives, so she does regen health back when she uses abilities to farm the waves. So I don't think she'll be hurting too much here. It's also a Morgana versus Lissandra matchup. That's a very farm-heavy matchup. I don't think Morgana does have some kill pressure on Lissandra if she lands a binding or 2. But for the most part, that will most likely be a farm lane, but it can go either way. No invade either, coming out from either team.
Yeah, no invade, so gonna be relatively calm level 1. Oh, Atik, I never offered you First Blood mystery skin gift. So far only one has been won so far. That was Alex. Then again, that's probably the easiest guest he could have had of all time. But who are you gonna give it to this time?
Let's see. Decisions. I think First Blood is going to go down in the top lane, and I think it's going to be Feast that picks it up.
Feast that picks up First Blood. Alright, we'll keep an eye on that. Looks like Feast is opting to start with that level, to get that early level 2 by starting off with the chickens.
Yeah, so an interesting thing to do when you take teleport in the top lane is you can do a quick camp and then TP back into lane, and you'll be level 2, and you'll have a little bit of an EXP advantage on your enemy laner, and that's really important for Fizz, because having all 3 of your abilities as fast as possible is really important to your laning phase, because Fizz doesn't really hit a power spike until he hits level 3. And we see him going aggressive onto Janitor Kid very early on. He's level 2, he's bullying him out already.
Yeah, a ton of damage being put onto Janitor. Janitor starting with 3 pods instead of the Doran's Blade on Gnar, having a little bit of extra sustain.
Yeah, so a pretty smart pickup by Janitor Kid, knowing that he'll take that early harass. He needs those potions to sustain himself up. Beast has started off with the Doran's Blade, going even more aggressive onto Janitor Kid, dropping him to about 100 health. But Feast also has 4 health potions and a mana potion since he was able to take that Wraith camp early. So he has that sustain to back up with that Doran's Blade starts because he took that early camp.
Yeah, considering all this action that we're seeing top lane early, we might see jungle pressure in the top lane early, considering how both Feast and Janitor are two of the strongest, arguably the strongest members on their respective teams. So for once, we're probably going to see top lane get a whole lot of attention. Both players probably going to feel like Dyrus towards the end of it.
Look at the CS lead that Feast has already developed within 4 minutes of the game. An 11 CS lead in the first 4 waves, I believe. That's a pretty big margin. We'll have to see where it goes from here. Like you said, I would love to see some games coming down in top lane. And Feast going again onto Janitor Kid, unrelenting on the pressure here.
Yeah, that was a ton of damage. Janitor hitting Mega Nard just in time. Otherwise, Feast might have gone in for an all-in there. Then we have Feast, something to note, does not have Flash. Opting to go for the teleport Ignite, so really putting the pressure onto his lane opponent, saying, hey, it's you and me up here. My goal is to try and kill you. And
he already forced the TP out of Janitor Kid. So that'll be down for the next 4 minutes. Feast is also down since he did TP back to lane. We see a gank coming in the mid lane.
We do see a gank coming in. Rook gonna come in from the side with the flag and drag. Battle Money getting knocked up, but forced to flash out of there. Battle Money probably gonna get away over here. However, they do get a summoner spell out of Battle Money. Let's take a look to see if they see any repeat visits in that mid lane.
Yeah, so very good, very nice gank by the Jarvan. He was able to get the flash off of Battle Money, but she was able to walk away. We'll have to see if Jarvan is able to capitalize once again. Morgana is relatively safe from ganks early on because she has that black shield, but forcing that flash is huge. Morgana doesn't really have any dashes to really get away from ganks, so if Rook makes a repeat visit at level 6, the amount of burst that Jarvan and Lissandra bring together with their combined ultimates may be enough to take out Battle Money before his flash comes back up again. So we'll have to see how that plays out. So maybe not as much attention in the top lane as we had hoped, but a very good gank by Rook onto the mid lane.
And this bot lane, having the Sona with the Vayne, I feel like helps out Vayne's weaknesses a lot, considering that Sivir does have incredible poke with the boomerang. Just having the Sona there for the extra sustain does help Vayne out a little bit in lane. However, level 6 is really scary because I feel like, well, Sona and Vayne definitely have a lot more kill pressure 2v2 level 6 than a Thresh Sivir. So who cares?
Sorry about that. An important thing to note here is Feast got off to an early 10 CS lead in the top lane, but that lead hasn't really grown. So really good on Janitor Kid's part to not let Feast run away with the game here, keeping it even, keeping that 10 CS lead constant, and making sure he's not the reason that his team faces a large deficit going into the mid game. Just trying to farm it off, let his team scale up with this Lissandra Vayne composition they have.
It looks like Grook and Phantom of Dust both looking for a gank in the bot lane. Little awkward jungle party in the river. It's like Grook, however, just electing to go do his Krugs instead. Might see Phantom of Dusk look for something in the mid lane. Because, you know, if you can't find something to do bot, you might as well just go mid and do something.
So, one thing to note here is Phantom of Dusk has picked up the Chilling Smite. I'm not a huge fan of that on Gragas, mainly because his mana costs are fairly high. And using that Chilling Smite makes it very hard for Gragas to to clear the jungle and stay topped off in terms of mana. So it's going to make it hard for him to keep his farm up and keep up gank pressure if he doesn't have the mana to do it. So we'll have to see if he takes the second blue buff, to be honest. If he gives it up to Morgana, he's going to have some trouble sustaining his mana in this lane.
You just do what I do in solo queue, just take every blue buff. I'm Rek'Sai. I need all the blue buffs. Phantom of Dust going hard on Mr. Krabs though. Gonna get some crab cakes for dinner. Gonna secure vision for the top laners is gonna be really important. I think both top laners are acutely aware of that. You can see Janitor early on, he was forcing the wave into the tower as soon as he had a ward in the river. But it looks like, look at the Christmas tree, Christmas light trail of red wards on the top side river. That is all That is all red team right there. So Feast absolutely fearless of anybody coming directly up the river. Somebody's going to have to come in for a real crazy through the jungle across the chickens gank if they're going to get to him. We're in the bot lane. They do hit. Team CashMoni does hit level 6 before. Looks like they're going to get him for a bit of a scrap. Lion does land the hook onto Chocolate Sundae. Chocolate Sundae forced to flash out of there. Monkey's trying to do as much damage as he can to Chocolate Sundae. One more boomerang. First blood goes to Monkeys. However, TP comes in response. Does get canceled. CashMoni going to commit to this TP though. Just kidding. I lied. Both tricked me. Both TPs will be canceled. So clean 1-0 for Team CashMoni to start off the game.
So I guess I was wrong about that first blood again. So like we said, this Vayne pick, we weren't sure about it in Champ Select, and this is why. First blood in a 2v2 setting, not something you want for your team, and these lanes have not had the laning phase that they wanted. Team CashMoni coming out to a lead in all 3 lanes essentially. And Feast going in hard on the top lane.
Yeah, Feast is going in hard. However, Janitor trying to gnar Feast back into the... Oh my god! Manages to turn that. Throws a rock down on top of it and gnars him just under tower range to get some help from his turret damage. So Feast, thinking that he had an easy kill or at least a free back from the gnar, manages to get completely wrecked by Janitor. If I was Janitor, I'd be standing up in my chair throwing things at my screen saying, I'm the best. 1 kill for him.
Turn kill by Janitor to answer for the 2v2 kill in the bot lane, and Feast getting a little bit too greedy there, using his E and then still committing to the 1v1. Janitor Kid realizes he has no flash, and that E being off cooldown pushes him back into the tower, says nope, you're not going anywhere, makes sure he takes a couple tower hits, stuns him under the turret after R'ing him back, and then throws out a Q for the secure on the kill. Beautifully played by Janitor Kid and a little bit too aggressive by Feasts.
Yeah, that was absolutely dirty. That 10-15 CS lead that he was holding on to completely gone. And then some. I bet he's really scratching his head after that one. Janitor really strong on Gnar.
Yeah, but this lane isn't over yet. Feast still with that 12 CS lead. Probably going to keep the lane very even. Let's look at the gold really quickly. The gold is very even between Feast and Janitor Kid. It's only about 50 gold separating the two of them. So that CS lead really keeping Feast in this matchup.
It's like Battle Money and Ticker gonna get into a scrap in the mid lane. However, Ticker just managing to go out of there as my director camera trolls me and goes away from the fight as it's going down. But we did see Battle Money burn the ultimate up there, so a lot less pressure from the Morgana. Then again, it's kind of hard to get tagged by Morgana 1v1 unless you're just really mispositioning and she lands literally everything on you. So
that's one of the misguided thoughts about Morgana. The fact that she doesn't have a lot of kill pressure in a 1v1. Morgana has a lot of kill pressure in a 1v1 setting. Those bindings really hurt, and she has a lot of capabilities to one-shot an enemy laner. Because her burst damage in the early game, she hits hard. She falls off pretty decently in the late game.
But in the bot lane, we do have a fight going on. Rook coming in for a gang, however, gets met by 3 people from Team CashMoni. Rook, goodbye. Oh my gosh, manages to flash, however. Lion trying to desperately save the kill for his ADC, however. Sona does pick up the crescendo. Chocolate Sundae responds with, no, just kidding. That's Hydra picking up the kill on the other support. So in that unfortunate exchange, I feel like if Lion just picked up the kill for himself, they probably wouldn't have given up that kill there.
Yeah, so what the fuck gets a Lion a little bit too eager to give that kill up to one of his carries, ends up dying for it. And in the top lane, even though the gold count is even, well, it's not anymore because Janitor Kid is caught up in CS. He is really bullying out Feast in this lane after that mistake by Feast, giving Janitor Kid the solo kill and the gold to fight back now. Feast is not someone that scales very well. He needs to get an early advantage, and he had that, but he threw it away. And now, Janitor Kid really punishing Feast for his mistake in this lane.
Yeah, speaking of that early advantage, it looks like Feast really looking for revenge in this situation. Battle Money trying to come in for the gank, however. Janitor backing out just in time. Ult just did come out, so if that Dark Binding landed, I feel like Janitor would have been in a lot of trouble.
Yep. So a lot of Morganas, what they do is usually they'll get Abyssal Scepter or Zhonya's as their first item, and that gives them that burst damage, that potential to 1v1. But Morgana is going for a Rod of Ages. So that scaling build, I don't really like it on Morgana because, like I said, Morgana's not a champion that scales well into the late game. In the late game, all she has is her utility. Her mid game burst, though, as a mid laner, is very strong, and utilizing that with the proper items like Abyssal and Zanya's is very important in the mid lane.
In the mid lane, D2 are trying to go in for a fight. Not sure what they were trying. Morgana does have the black shield. Morgana responds immediately with the soul shackles, however, forced to flash out of there. Phantom of Dust does pick up Rook in that ticker. Gets caught up by the Dark Binding. That should be a clean 2-0 for Team CashMoni. So that gank didn't go as they planned at all. However, in the top lane, they're going at it again. Feast getting the Chum the Waters down onto Janitor, does pick up the kill onto him. So they're 1-for-1 tied in terms of kills in the top lane. Almost dead even in CS.
So that's something Gnar has to be really afraid of when he's in mini form. Feast, when he lands his ultimate, will always have that opportunity to pick up the kill in the 1v1 while he's in mini Gnar, especially when he chooses not to build any defensive stats. Right now he has a Bilgewater Cutlass and a Phage, so no defensive stats there, and Feast taking advantage of the mini Gnar and picking up the solo kill after he lands his fish and uses the ignite as well. So a solo kill going down for him, and I believe the lane will now swing back into his favor after that crucial mistake by Janitor Kid going a little bit too aggressive in his mini Gnar.
It looks like Janitor is going to hold on to that TP though. Feast not having his TP available, still on about half cooldown, so shouldn't see it for another 2.5-3 minutes. So maybe they're going to take advantage of that, try to get a fight around Dragon. We have not seen Dragon contested or even smelled that at all. There is a ward from Team CashMoni currently on it, but it doesn't seem... There was no real interest in going for that. Then again, there haven't been really any too crazy team fights that happened around the Dragon Pit, so maybe once that happens, we'll see something change.
Team CashMoni has had the potential to take this Dragon's entire time. They've been steamrolling in the bot lane. The Vayne just cannot fight in corridors, especially not for Dragon this early on. He would get crushed by this Gragas Morgana combo, but they're not really pressuring Dragon, which is a little bit unfortunate. But I don't think CashMoni needs Dragon to secure a win here, so just pressuring their lane advantages should be enough, I believe, to possibly pick up a win here. But we'll have to see how this goes. We have a long game that needs to be played still, and we'll have to see what both teams bring here.
Yeah, it looks like Rook was sitting in the top lane brush, looking for a lane gank for quite a while. Finally going to get spotted out by that river brush. Feast a little wary of that situation, not electing to push up too far, so it looks like he's going to have to look for blood somewhere else.
Oh, BattleMoni landing a binding, bringing the damage. Burns Ticker's flash once again, and Ticker is not having a fun time in this mid lane at all against this Morgana.
Looks like Rook might get caught out here. Rook, not knowing that Gragas is there, knows Morgana's there probably, but the Grog is probably going to surprise him. Manages to go left instead of right. If he went right, I feel like that could have been a lot of trouble for him. But it looks like they're trying to make a play around this bot lane. We see Rook trying to clear out some vision over here. Morgana and Gragas. Looks like they're all converging onto the Dragon from Team CashMoni. First Dragon of the game finally going to get started at about 16 minutes. However, everybody else is acutely aware of the situation. Let's take a look at if anybody does try to contest it. Ultimate and Claw both available from Lissandra. We'll keep an eye on that. Claw does go in, does get the Ring of Frost, does get the steal down. They pick up the Dragon. Let's see if they're going to pay for it. WTF, it's a Lion goes down in that exchange. Vayne picking up a kill there. Jenner going Super Gnar at the exact right time. BattleMoni getting stunned 4 times in a row. That is one more going down for Team CashMoni. So, oh man, as Team CashMoni sets up beautifully on the Dragon. Ticker goes in even better with the Claw. Perfect Ring of Frost. Steals the Dragon. Looks like they're not done yet though. Phantom of Dusk probably gonna get caught out on the wrong side of the map. Rook and Janitor about to get the pinch. Hey, who's gonna get this kill? Guess real quick. Who's gonna get the kill, Teak? Oh wait, this is a really easy guess now. Never mind. One more auto attack should do it. Janitor does pick up one. So man, that went really badly for Team CashMoni.
Yeah, Team CashMoni just wanting that Dragon a little bit too badly. Earlier, they might have been able to force that, but this time around, Morgana's ultimate wasn't even up, and they're forcing a Dragon when everyone on Team... What are their names?
Manuel Jimenez.
Team Manuel Jimenez just had everything up. They still had the Lissandra ultimate, and Lissandra just eased in, lands her ultimate on her. She uses it on herself, but hits 4 people and picks up the Dragon with it. You can't fight in a choke point like Dragon against a Lissandra who will decimate your team like that when you don't even have your key AoE teamfight ulti, which is the Morgana ulti. You just can't do that. A huge mistake by Team CashMoni just results in a massive teamfight loss, and it evens out this game.
Yeah, what was supposed to be a fun dragon for Team CashMoni ended up being not so fun. Let's see if they manage to recover from that mistake. They must have been feeling really good up to that point, only to give up 3 kills and a dragon that they probably never should have contested. So, taking a look at the gold lead, only a 400 gold deficit, so not a whole lot in difference. Taking a look at the deficit between laners, see people staying relatively even, not a whole lot of discrepancy except between, oh no, just kidding. I had my support and ADC out of order, that's what was confusing me. I thought there was like a 2,000 gold discrepancy at first.
Sivir has picked up a 17 CS lead though, and she is 2-0-0. Vayne also has 1 kill, but a 700 gold lead going to the Sivir. We'll have to see what she can do with that gold lead. Looks like she is the only lane that currently possesses a gold. Actually, Morgana has a gold advantage too of 200 gold. So we'll see. We'll have to see what those two can bring to the table in terms of team fights. They have the majority of the gold on their team. Janitor Kid has the gold lead on to Feast in the top lane by about 500 gold at this point, and this Fizz only goes downhill from here. Whereas Team Manuel Jimenez's team has the team fight comp skills very well into the late game, but Team CashMoni is definitely not out yet. They still have the Morgana pick, they still have the mid game team fight advantage. We'll have to see what these two teams do from here. I really hope they don't throw another dragon fight freebie like that last one.
That was really fun to watch though.
That Lissandra ulti was beautiful, I have to admit. That was a great Lissandra ulti by Ticker360, waiting for the perfect moment and then just decimating the entire team with that one key ultimate. It's very nice to see.
And another thing to note, Vayne did pick up a kill and an assist in that exchange. And while Sivir does have a considerable CS lead, Monkey's Sivir is not going to scale nearly as well as Chocolate Sunday's Vayne is later in the game. So if they keep going even in that gold, the longer the time goes, the more it's just going to benefit Chocolate Sunday. So let's see if Team CashMoni can really push that mid game advantage that their ADC can offer in terms of damage and the utility, because Vayne, you know, doesn't become really scary until later on in the game. So take a look, see what happens with that. It looks like Janitor is looking for something to happen in the mid game, considering they already have that tower top. However, their other tower, taking a look at it, sweeping over to over here, their top lane tower is at about 169 health, so it's not like they can leave that completely. Rook, however, forcing the defensive ultimate from Monkeys. So knowing that the Sivir doesn't have that available is going to be huge for Team Manuel Jimenez.
Yep. Definitely gonna have to agree with you there. But Team, damn, these team names are really throwing me off. Team CashMoni has picked up a gold lead once again from about even to about a 500 gold lead. So nice for them.
Oh, they're looking for a game. They're looking for a game. Phantom of Dusk and Feast both going Janitor going Meganar at the exact right time. However, I don't think he's going to have the damage or the CC to really get away from this. So the Fizz does pick up a kill in the top lane. Phantom of Dusk on Gragas getting the assist for that. So just a little more gold heading over to Team CashMoni after that fight.
Yeah, but if you'll notice now, bot lane is shoved up really far, and J4 is in position to make a play in the bot lane, and he should be heading over there for a gank right now, and that's exactly what he's doing, realizing that the enemy jungler is in the top lane.
Oh, Hydra gets the flash, crescendo, Monkeys and Lion, both locked up. Rook goes in for the flag and drag, activates the Cataclysm onto Monkeys, beating him to death right now. WTF, it's a Lion trying to get the Lantern out just in time, but not fast enough. Chocolate Sunday does pick up a kill on that. It looks like these bot lane towers are finally going to go down on behalf of Team CashMoni. 6 for 6 in terms of kills.
So just poor communication by Team CashMoni there. They knew their jungler was in the top lane. They just picked up a kill there. There's no reason for their bot lane to play that far up when they don't even have the Sivir ulti. They're not playing around their ultis properly. And you just see Rook come down. Beautiful gank, beautiful knowledge by him. Knowing Gragas is up there, he comes down to the bot lane. No Sivir has no ultimate, probably called out by the Sona, and you know, they just pick up 2 kills, they get the turret for it. So beautiful teamwork by Team Manuel Jimenez, realizing that Gragas was in the top lane to send Jarvan down there and to pick up 1 kill and the turret off the back end of that.
So this is going to be really scary once Sona and Vayne start roaming together. getting that bot lane tower, definitely opening up more of the map to them. But the dragon has respawned. Let's see if Team CashMoni wants to try this again. This time the Morgana ultimate is available. This dragon is going down really, really fast. However, we do have a fight going on. Hydra getting looked at immediately on the back line. Looks like they do pick up the dragon. Phantom going down as well. Ticker forced to pop the Zarya. Shouldn't last too much longer. Janitor on Lion trying to switch targets over to the ADC. Chocolate Sundae doing a lot of damage. However, should go down pretty soon. Janitor gets caught by the hook. Misses the binding, however, does lose the Mega Gnar form. So probably not going to be as tanky as they were before. BattleMoney just landing auto after auto. However, he does pick up Thresh. Is he going to make it away?
Yeah,
Janitor
gonna get away
barely going to make it away over here.
Yeah,
this is
BattleMoney
absolutely
giving up chase
crazy.
here, realizing there's no way you can catch up to him. That fight was much better for Team CashMoni. Gnar did whip his ultimate in the middle of that fight, but this time they had all of their ultimates, they fought properly. So one thing that really turned that fight around is Feast had the kill on Chocolate Sundae, but he tumbled to the opposite side of him and smashed him against the wall and used his Blade of the Ruined King to stay alive for a little bit longer. And before Feast got the last auto attack off, Chocolate Sundae was able to pick up the kill onto Feast, but he did go down when what the fuck it's a lion, or no, he did go down to, I think, BattleMoney's Ignite. Maybe it was Physics Ignite, I'm not sure, but beautiful mechanics there by Chocolate Sundae to stay alive there when he should have died, and that team fight could have gone much, much worse if Beast did not die at the end of that one. So, very nice play by Vayne. I'm not sure if any of you guys caught that in the middle of that team fight, but it made the fight much more even than it should have been, and I think at the end of that, I think it was a 4-for-4 exchange, with the dragon going down to Team Manuel Jimenez. So, definitely Manuel Jimenez with the advantage there, but Team CashMoni has picked up a 1,000 gold advantage since Team Manuel Jimenez did just pick up the mid lane tower.
It looks like they're trying to lay siege to this mid tier 2, considering that Feast is in the top lane. However, Feast does have TP available, so they're going to have to be very, very wary of that. Rook taking the time to pick up that extra 30 gold that the pink ward can offer him. It's like Lissandra just going over just to secure her own blue buff.
Yeah, it looks like there's a little bit of lull in action here. Team CashMoni playing around the dragon area, but it's not up, so I'm not sure what exactly they're expecting here. They are going to clear out a couple of wards. Morgana's going to go ahead and pick up her own blue buff here. And a bit of a farm fest going on here. Jarvan picking up the farm in the bot lane. Looks like 3 people are converging down in the bot lane.
It looks like Rook getting looked. Oh, but W's have it's a line. Oh, it does get the secondary hook onto Rook. Do they have enough burst to finish this off? I don't think so, unless BattleMoney manages to land the perfect combination of Dark Binding and Soul Shackles. But Rook just gonna give up that tower. Looks like Feast, Chocolate Sundae might get totally gonna get caught out here. Chum the waters. This damage is going down super, super fast. That's a dead ADC for you. Ticker, however, trying to claw out of there. Rook gonna flag and drag, making sure his teammates are safe. Hydra does get caught out by the hook around the corner. BattleMoney picks up the kill onto Hydra. However, Feast responds with one. Ticker responds with another. Lion should be going down immediately. Phantom trying to get his way out of there. BattleMoney throwing down the Dark Binding in order to make sure his teammates make it out of there alive. So that was a 2-for-3 in favor of Team CashMoni in that exchange.
Yeah, so just over-aggression by Team CashMoni. Diving when a dive was not necessary. They had the Vayne dead. They could have taken the turret without diving, committing that hard. I'm not sure how Sivir died. I didn't really catch that. I think Lissandra may have dove onto her, but I'm not exactly sure how Sivir fell. But a lot of overcommitment by Team CashMoni. And they aren't able to pick up that tier 2 bot lane turret off of that. So this composition is ticking, and I'm not sure if in the late game they'll be able to hold their own against this composition brought to us by Team Manuel Jimenez with all the AoE they bring to the table.
And in addition, taking a look at Vayne's items, Vayne has completed 2 items, working on a bit of resistances right now. It's starting to get to that point where Vayne gets a little scarier with the Bork and the PD and the Greaves. All that attack speed stacking up really quick to proc Silver Bolts over and over again. So Vayne slowly getting to that point where she's getting a little bit scary. So Team CashMoni gonna have to make sure they don't give up any unnecessary gold in situations where they don't have to.
Yep. And Gragas is holding on to about 1,600 gold right now, so he's probably going to be looking to base very soon to pick up an item. 1,800 gold now. Probably can finish up that... What's the item called? The one that built out of the catalyst and that new item?
Righteous Glory.
Righteous Glory. Definitely going to be looking to pick that up, as well as some more tank stats. Maybe work towards a Frozen Heart here to stop the Vayne from scaling as hard. Yep, he does pick up the Warden's Mail. Probably going to turn into a Frozen Heart. Might be a Randuin's though. Either way, it's a good pickup, in my opinion.
So really hard to engage coming out of the items and the kits of Team CashMoni. Then again, Team Manuel Jimenez does have really good counter engage as well. Ways to just completely stop the fight. Say, hey, stop that. We don't want to do that. Lissandra can throw down the Frozen Tomb. Sona can crescendo. Gnar can get a really, really nice ult. Jarvan can set the Cataclysm down to separate the team. So, going to be really interesting to see how the timing of those goes down. Because if Team CashMoni catches them off guard, there isn't a whole lot that Manuel Jimenez can do to keep themselves alive. However, looks like we're going to be able to see just how quick their reflexes are in the next dragon fight that's likely to be coming up. 15 seconds on that timer. Team CashMoni completely establishing their dominance over the pit right now.
Team Manuel Jimenez. Jarvan is completely out of position. Not sure what they're doing here. They have a 2-0 dragon lead. They've been winning fights in the dragon pit, but they send Jarvan to the top lane and they're going to be completely unprepared for this. If Team CashMoni starts this right away, they can pick up a dragon for themselves, but it doesn't look like they're going to pick it up. They're just going to wait around in brushes. A little bit of indecisiveness costing them that. They should have seen the Jarvan clearing that top wave, and they should have made the decisive call to take the dragon as soon as possible, but now it looks like they're going to look for the 5v5 team fight.
But regardless, this is really bad. Janitor just ran out of Mega Gnar. He's on that cooldown. He's going to take quite a bit of time in order to charge up that rage bar to a decent amount again, but it looks like the Rook is going to go and trying to force them out of there. Going to claw in their ticker, looking for somebody to get on the backline. However, not finding a target just yet. Chocolate Sundae and Hydra go down immediately to Morgana and Sivir. Looks like somebody else. Rook gets popped as well. Ticker caught in the middle of 5 of them. Going to get completely swept. That is a clean ace for Team CashMoni. So the first 2 dragon fights didn't go their way, but I guess third time's the charm. They pick up their first dragon of the game and 5 kills on top of that.
So both teams this game have really shown that an inability to play around their ultimates here. This time around, Jandra Kid saw that his Mega Gnar was out, but they still forced a team fight. You cannot force a team fight when a massive ultimate like your Gnar ulti isn't available. And Team CashMoni punishing them heavily. They take them out 5-0. No team fight this game has been that one-sided. And because that Gnar ulti was not available, and Team Manuel Jimenez tried to force it anyways, Jarvan flag and dragged into that fight. No reason to force it at that point in time. They could have just pressured around the area, poked a little bit with the Gnar boomerangs, but instead, J4 just initiating that team fight. Not sure if that, well, I'm definitely sure that that was not the right call. And Team Manuel Jimenez pays for that dearly. And Team CashMoni able to capitalize on it with a dragon, a 5-for-a wipe, as well as a Baron.
Yeah, especially considering that wasn't a really crucial dragon either. I mean, if it was like 4 dragons to 4 dragons, maybe you can make an argument for a play like that. But there were 2-0. 1 dragon is something that was totally okay to give up, because best case scenario, they get the dragon, they maybe get a 3-for-3, and then they just stall out while they're waiting for the rest of their teammates to respond. However, worst case scenario is exactly what happened. They get clean aced in the dragon fight, lose the dragon, lose Baron on top of that, and all that map presence that they had with their other lanes pushing, completely getting shoved out towards their own base. So, huge misplay by Manuel Jimenez, but we'll see if they manage to recover from that blunder. Goal deficit at 7k for Team CashMoni.
That, even the dragon threat, even if it was real, Team Manuel Jimenez could have just stayed around, could have poked, and Team CashMoni would have been forced to back away with it just because of the threat of the Lissandra, the threat of the Sona, the threat of the J4, but J4 EQ'd in, completely missed it. Now that's on cooldown, and we have no Jandra ulti. There's not much left to peel, and Team CashMoni realizing that, go in hard and just clean wipe. And now they're pushing down turrets to get the tier 2 in the bot lane, and it doesn't look like they're going to ease up here. They do have a massive wave in the bot lane. We'll have to see if they pressure this any further.
My gosh, it's so crazy how just one thrown team fight can lead to this much hurt for Team Manuel Jimenez.
Yeah, just one boomerang from Sivir taking out half of Vayne's health bar.
And Vayne considering that she benefits the most from staying alive in extended team fights, being chunked down early on really diminishes your team's ability to put any kill pressure on the other team. So all the waves completely shoving in Team CashMoni's favor. Taking a look at the map 2 minutes ago, that was the complete opposite case. Looks like they're trying to lay siege to this mid tower, trying to get as much as they can with the limited time that they do have with that Baron buff. However, looks like blue team, Team Manuel Jimenez, not wanting to give this up exactly for free, realizing that Jander is going Mega Gnar. They're opting to get out of there. However, Lion completely caught out. I'm not sure if they're going to look to save him. Ryuk, however, a little bit suspicious considering that the entire other team was just mid lane, so wisely electing to back up off of that.
Yeah, nice of them to get the flash from Thresh without burning too much. They don't have the J4 ultimate, but that should be coming back up shortly. Don't think Team CashMoni will be picking up any major advantage off of that, but we'll have to see. They are pressuring the mid lane turret now, realizing the Jarvan ulti is down. We'll have to see if they can go ahead and pick that up. Nope, looks like they're just going to back away.
Yeah, Baron has expired at this point, but they did get a ton of objectives out of that and a ton of their map presence back. It's like they were able to drop a decent amount of vision in the bot side jungle of Team Manuel Jimenez on their way out.
They've developed almost a 7,000 gold, an 8,000 gold lead here, and they didn't get too much off the Baron. They only got one tier 2 turret in the bot lane. Would have liked them to get the tier 2 in the mid and tier 2 in the top as well, utilizing some effective split pushing from the Fizz, realizing his TP was up. But one turret, not too shabby. You take what you can get, and they did get one tower, so not all gone to waste. They did get the gold from the Baron as well, and they have a nice gold lead here. We'll have to see if they're able to close this game out with this gold lead.
Yeah, Vayne also hitting a bit of a stall in our itemization, picking up that QSS, but hasn't really picked up any active combat stats after she picked up the PD, so that power spike being delayed even more.
Yeah, that QSS really hurts Vayne's damage there. Usually you don't pick up QSS until you at least have 3 damage items, and Vayne having a Bork, a PD, and a pickaxe, compared to the Infinity Edge, Phantom Dancer, Bloodthirster, and the pickaxe of Sivir, Vayne is almost a full item behind in terms of damage. Does not have the Infinity Edge. That's almost a 4,000 gold item that you don't have. So that's going to be massive in team fights in terms of raw attack damage power. And Sivir's going to outdamage this Vayne. Vayne's known for her late game power, but if the other carry just has an entire item on you, it doesn't matter if you're a late game AD carry. You're just going to get outdamaged regardless.
So Dragon is coming up in about 20 seconds. Gnar's TP should be coming up at exactly the same time. So let's see if they're better able to manage that, because I feel like if they're able to coordinate their ultimates and their Gnar form way better, it'll go way better than last. And then again, it can't go any worse than it did last time unless, I don't know, they decide to surrender at the end of it. With the 4th dragon of the game looking to be contested very shortly. Gnar has joined them in the fight down bottom. Not forced to burn that TP just yet. Good amount of vision in the blue side jungle for Team CashMoni. So if they see them sneaking up, they'll probably see them coming. Looks like Dragon is getting started though.
Yeah, I think Team Manuel Jimenez might want to just give this one up considering how much gold behind they are, but I'm not sure if they realize how much gold they're down exactly. Nope, looks like they do realize it. Looks like they're not going to go in for a team fight that they can't win. They are just going to stall it out a little bit longer, see if they can pick up the gold lead, or like as long as they extend this game without Team CashMoni having the ability to expand the gold lead by any wide margins, they should be able to claw their way back into it, and they might be able to stage a comeback, which Team Manuel Jimenez is really known for in this tournament. They're really good at coming back into games from gold deficits, and we'll see if they can pull it out here again today.
Yeah, the longer you leave this Vayne alone, the scarier she's gonna get. But I think a big reason why they didn't go in for that team fight again is I think Jander ran out of Gnar right before Team CashMoni started it again. So again, another unfortunate timing with that Mega Gnar window. Once that Mega Gnar does come up though, I expect to see them go full ham all the way. Red buff going to Vayne. A little bit of extra punch to her arrows. Yeah, so far, bit of a farm fest. Baron is alive again. It looks like Team CashMoni trying to put some pressure down onto it, trying to establish their own vision, deny vision from Team Manuel Jimenez. but they did get spotted out while the wards were being cleared. Looks like they're going to start it regardless. Team Manuel Jimenez not in a position to contest this whatsoever. I don't even know if they don't even know they're doing this. So this is going to be an absolutely uncontested Baron for Team CashMoni. If we had a fantasy league, that's extra points for whoever has these players on their team. Second Baron of the game.
Well, I'm pretty sure they knew they were doing it. They just didn't feel they were in a position to contest, and honestly, they're really not. They're down almost 10,000 gold. They didn't have wards around the area, or they didn't have wards specifically in the Baron pit. They do have pretty good vision coverage of their own topside jungle with all those blue wards littered around that area. But they're not in a position to contest Baron. They're too far down in gold, so I really like that call. They're just going to try and defend their turrets. And if you notice here, Team CashMoni, they haven't broken a single inhibitor turret. That's huge. Once you break the inhibitor turret, that's when all the turrets around the map start falling. But here, they have all of their inhibitor turrets. Hell, they still have 2 tier 2 turrets up in the mid and top lanes respectively. So Team Manuel Jimenez is doing a really good job of stalling this game out. Team CashMoni doesn't have the best siege. Sivir, not a very long range AD carry. Their auto attacks are fairly short range, and it's pretty dangerous to go up and auto a turret when a team has a Sona, a Jarvan, a Lissandra. So you have to be really careful here, and it's hurting their siege a little bit. They're getting a little bit of work done with these empowered minions during the Baron buff, but I don't think it's going to be enough, and we might see Team Manuel Jimenez claw their way back into this match.
Yeah, taking a look at the CS differences, I just noticed. At first, I thought that the two ADCs were even, but then I realized that there was a 100 CS difference between Chocolate Sundae and Monkey. So while Vayne does scale really, really well into the late game, that is 100 CS worth of scaling. That's absolutely... Then again, Vayne doesn't really have the wave clear that Sivir does. Sivir's wave clear, absolutely ridiculous. Vayne opting to go PD over Shiv, figuring that, you know, she wanted the extra stats instead of the wave clear. So that's a lot of gold to be behind.
Yeah, that's very true. So, it's hard for Vayne to get farm in these extended sieges because she just doesn't have the wave clear that Sivir says. You hit it spot on. It's unfortunate that Vayne can't get the farm he needs, but Lissandra's getting a lot of farm. Kept up with Morgana. Gnar has done a fairly decent job of keeping up with Fizz, and they just need to keep farming and get to the item thresholds that they need to be at to be able to fight in a 5v5 setting. As long as they don't force anything, and they play around their turrets and they keep their turrets alive for as long as possible, they may be able to mount a defense. But we'll have to see how Team CashMoni plays this out. They need to try and force a fight. They need to get something done here, and they need to get something done fast before Team Manuel Jimenez is able to claw their way back into this game.
Looks like Vayne did finish that last Whisper, so Vayne getting even stronger, even more armor shred, coming on top of her true damage procs. A lot of engagement tools are available for Team Manuel Jimenez. Flash is up for everybody. We know Hydra likes to get up forward and nasty with that flash crescendo, so we'll take a look to see if she spots an opportunity for Sivir to do that. Crescendo really, really difficult to spell shield, so Dragon Fight coming in. I like how I say Dragon Fight instead of Dragon because I just assume it's inevitable at this point. Dragon coming up in just another minute. Both teams holding 2 dragons apiece. Third dragon looking to give them that movement speed bonus. We'll say Lissandra hitting another relatively big spike, finishing out that Luden's Echo. All 3 needlessly large items done on Lissandra right now. So in that team fight, she's going to be doing a lot more AoE. Their team fight should get even stronger. But Jander, yet again, running out of Mega Gnar at the worst time.
But I don't think they're going to be looking to contest this dragon still. See, one really good thing about this game was Team Manuel Jimenez was able to pick up the first 2 dragons. So now they have a lot of time to stall. One thing to also know is the first dragon wasn't picked up until 18 minutes. So they still have 12 minutes after this dragon to get into this game, to claw their way back in, to pick up some extra gold to get their carries into it, and maybe 5v5. So as long as they stay back, and wait that period out, they might be fine. Oh,
Oh gosh, Janitor gets completely caught out. His health is going down so fast. Crescendo does come in defensively. Rook jumping on the back line. Gets the Cataclysm, separating a whole lot of people. Chocolate Sundae on the duel, but does get hooked just in time before Monkeys goes down. Monkeys trying to get back into the fight, taking the Lantern to do that. Rook trying to desperately get out of there. Rook and Ticker, the only ones alive, but Feast jumping on. Lion looking for the hook, looking for the flame, misses the flay. Rook gonna get out of there alive, so clean 3-0 for Team CashMoni. They forced the fight they were looking for. Janitor going down at a very inopportune time. They're thirsty for an inhibitor right now.
yeah, they did a really good job in the past 2 Dragons of not contesting, and they just needed to keep doing that. They needed to keep doing what they were doing, make sure they didn't fight. And Janitor Kid just phase checking, getting a little bit too cocky, aggressive there, I suppose. Not cocky, but a little bit too aggressive, a little bit too far forward, and he does die for it. And they might just walk away with the game.
Oh my gosh, Lysandra picked up one. Ticker going in deep again, trying to pick up even more kills on that. Activate Cezannius is able to get the final Q off onto the Fist, so picks up 2 in that exchange. Rook going down. They managed to get the delayed ace, Team CashMoni does, but Ticker manages to get a little extra gold on himself, even after their inhib goes down.
Now the important thing we talked about, those inhibitor turrets, they have fallen. So now the map is wide open for Team CashMoni. They can take the rest of the turrets down. Once you lose that inhibitor turret and you lose the inhibitor, the defense that you had just isn't what it is. You have minion waves pushing on one side of the map, and the enemy team can just pressure the other side of the map. They can go to the top lane, they can start running down towers, and a huge wave will start presenting itself in the bot lane. And if they don't send someone on Team Manuel and Jimenez to deal with the wave, then they'll just take free towers top. I mean, if they don't send someone to deal with the wave bot, then the bot lane wave will just start taking their Nexus turrets. So what that does is it creates a 4v5 at the top lane turrets, and Team CashMoni can now capitalize on that disadvantage for Team Manuel Jimenez by taking down the turrets. So now the map is wide open, all because of that one misplay. They held on for so long. Those 15 minutes before that point, they just stalled it out. You know, they were keeping the gold lead at about 10,000 gold, so it wasn't too bad. And then that catch just, you know, they got the bot lane inhib turret, and now it's going to be really hard for them to come back into this game. And I think Team CashMoni is now in the driver's seat to walk away with this game.
Yeah, Baron coming up coming up now as we speak. Team Manuel Jimenez does have a little bit of time and a bit of a window to contest this, if they're looking to contest at all, considering that super wave hasn't hit their base just yet. I'm not sure if they're going to want to contest this, considering how far behind they are in gold and stats. 11k difference at the 45-minute mark, so that's a lot of stats to be behind. But it looks like Janitor this time doing a better job of stacking up that rage bar. Gets caught up by the Dark Binding, loses a lot of health in that process. Doesn't look like Team CashMoni wants to start something just yet. Just wants to stall out some time. Look at that super wave heading to the bot lane right now. If you leave that super wave alone for long enough, it's just going to do work in the base. The Team CashMoni doing what they need to do.
Yeah, Team CashMoni playing this one out beautifully, realizing what they need to do to secure this Baron and get one step closer to that victory screen. Waiting for them to disperse, but they haven't fully dispersed. Jarvan may come in for a steal here. He is motioning for it. Nope, looks like they will back away, so this is going to be a free Baron picked up for Team CashMoni.
Yeah, that Baron was going down way too fast. You can see Chocolate Sundae in the base, just trying to wave clear as much as he can. You know what, Vayne, the famous wave clearing ADC in the game. A lot of damage going down onto one of that Nexus turrets, though, down to just about 25% HP. Team CashMoni slowly starting the death march into the base of Manuel Jimenez.
Yup, looks like Morgana is going to go ahead and pick up a blue buff, and then they will probably base and all group in the top lane for a final push, possibly. We'll have to see what happens. They're wasting the Baron a little bit. They need to sink their backs and start pushing something. Alright, so it looks like they will be going for the mid lane. I would have preferred for them to go to the top lane, but they may run a 4-1 split push where Feast pushes the top lane, which is also not a bad idea. I like what they're doing here, pressuring 2 lanes and the minion wave in the bot lane, so basically pressuring all 3 waves. Looks like they will pick up this tier 2 turret in the mid lane.
Yeah, Team Manuel Jimenez doing their best to save the inhibitor turrets that they have left. Janitor and Feast both busy in the top lane. However, Feast having a bit of a TP advantage, considering that Janitor already forced to burn his Mega Gnar form. So Team CashMoni probably looking to get aggressive off
They
of
have
the
to
fact
be really
that Mega Gnar
careful
isn't
here.
available.
Whoa, okay. They were able to back away there, not getting caught out. They could have dove that if Team Manuel Jimenez was a little bit too far out, but thankfully able to get out of that sticky situation.
Yeah, Hydra and Jandar both going down to about half health here as Team CashMoni laying absolute siege onto this top lane turret. And in the meantime, Winians do take out one of the Nexus turrets, so they're probably going to have to divert some attention soon, but they're just going to end up losing a tower for it. At this point, not a whole lot they can do. Realizing that, Rook goes in with the flag and dry. Crescendo only tagging the front line, so not a lot of damage and CC being done. Battle Money forces the Zhonya's and the Soul Shackles to get them off of them. Mega Gnar going in, trying to look for an ult. However, they do lose that tower, unable to save it. Chocolate Sundae trying desperately to get out of there. Gragasol actually manages to save it. However, Janitor does get caught by the death sentence. Ticker trying to go in to help him. Bring in Frost, not enough. Janitor picks up one. However, Feast picking up Janitor immediately. Chocolate Sundae not able to stay alive long enough to do the damage that he needs to do. Hydra going to be the last one. That is going to be the ace for Team CashMoni, and that is going to be game at 48 minutes into the game.
So a very long, drawn-out game here, but like I said, once you lose that inhibitor, it becomes very hard to defend, and we saw that right there. Lissandra being forced to clear out that wave coming in on the bot lane, and Team CashMoni just taking full advantage of that and picking up the Nexus off of the back end of that 5-for-2 exchange.
All right, well, good games to both teams. It looks like Team CashMoni is going to advance into the semifinals of our tournament, while Team Manuel Jimenez does fall to the losers bracket. Normally, this is the time where we'd sit around, talk about what each team did well, but we actually do have another match immediately after this one, so stay tuned, guys. Atik, unless you have some quick things that you want to say.
Well, all I have to say is, with this win, Team CashMoni has secured at least a 4th place finish in this tournament. So, round of applause for them for securing at least 800 RP. That's not to say that they won't do better than that. They do have a chance at the 1st place seed going into the winner's bracket. If they win one more match, they will be in prime position to take 1st place here.
And Boom Sparky just messaged me. We might have had a surrender come out from one of our teams on one of our off-stream games. We're going to have to confirm that later.
Yeah, Team 2 went ahead and surrendered their match as well. So that was for the Ratchets did surrender their match to Team 8. So they will be moving on in the losers bracket. So Team 8 moving on to the 2nd round of the losers bracket, where they will face Team 1, also known as Atik's 7-Eleven. Loving the name there. So we'll probably have that match for you guys this weekend, either Friday, Saturday, or Sunday, depending on when the captains go ahead and schedule that match. So now we have 2 more games coming up, but of course we can only stream one of them. And we do have the losers bracket match of round 2, Team Replace Allen versus Team Name. And this, I believe, will be a very exciting match. So I believe we have that one prepped, and we'll be diving into that one shortly.
So yeah, guys, just give us a minute. Stay tuned into the stream. Stream might go offline for just a minute while we update the overlays and such. But we should have this next game rolling in just the next few minutes. So thanks for watching, guys. We have losers bracket round 2 coming up.